Well, this is our new stuffer. Holy moly, that is a big one. We're going to try that today and see how it... And that thing goes all the way to the ceiling. I didn't think it was this big. I got it off the computer. Well, it's supposed to be a 20-pound stuffer. So we'll figure out. And we're stuffing sheeps and hog casings today. We'll see how it does. So here's a side-by-side. There's the old one that I had since 1990. Bought that from Cabela's long time ago. And it fell into disrepair. There's the new one. Holy moly. That's a big one. So we're going to see how it stuffs sheep casing and hog casing. That's the old one. Say goodbye. Okay, so we got the hog casings and the sheep casing soaked. And we're going to pull out the meat and start stuffing. So there's the first one we're going to stuff. Is our old-fashioned, our version of the old-fashioned. I did not double grind it, so it'll be a little rough, but it'll taste wonderful. So we're going to start off with that, and then we'll move to the our hot sausage. So there we go. Push, it smells excellent. Not like that last time. So this is a little over 10 pounds. Hear that? That's a little bit. We got room to spare. Holy moly. There's a big stuffer, sweetie. Holy moly. That's good. Problems. I think it's ready to go. Okay, so now we got the sausage in here. We got there's a little spot on top of the stuffer that takes the air. You can hear it when it goes down. It's important to go all the way down till it hits. And just want it to just a little bit of meat comes out. That'll be fine. All right, we're ready.
What are you doing?
So I get these tubed. So you take them off the tube very gently so it doesn't tear the casing. And you find the end. I usually have an assistant do this, but since I don't have one, and then you put a little water in. I should probably have my glasses on. Let me go get my glasses. And you want to put water through here. There's little dry spots in there. You want everything to go on smooth, no dry spots. Because when it comes off the horn, the dry spots will put more tension, so they'll get loose, tight, and it won't look uniform.
How do you soak them in that water?
You just soak them in warm water. Some people do it overnight. You don't need to do that. you soak it for about an hour. Warm water. Been doing this for 40 years. Soaking it overnight sometimes is actually bad because it actually hydrates it so much that they get fat and skinny. There you go. Put a little water in there. And then that'll keep the casing lubricated. And then it's also important to keep it on straight. So I'm just using the water to lubricate, but as you can see, I'm pinching it so it doesn't go on the horn. So all it's doing is just making sure the whole casing is lubricated the same as it goes on. When it comes off, it'll come off, hopefully. And it's really important too that you take your time doing this, especially with sheep casing, because you will tear it if you put too much pressure on it. What I like to do is just take this extra water. Too much of a mess. And some people tie their casings, so do I, but I use string. A lot easier. Okay. And you can turn it off because I need my assistant to.
No. I can't do this at the same time. I can't do that.
So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna twist them up. And that goes around 7 inches. Enough to fit into a bun. And this is how you twist hot dogs. This is before machines. This is how the old Germans did their Frankfurters. By hand. There wasn't no machines back then. That's how I learned. And actually it comes out better than machines. Now remember, this is food. You're going to put it in a bun with mustard and relish and onions and everything else on top of it. So don't get too caught up in, are they the exact same size? Because once all that stuff's on it, you ain't going to care anyway. Just have it look decent. And if you have a little bit here. Now we gotta search for the other end. A lot stronger than tying casings. Tying casings work, but that's so much stronger, better, more uniform. And I stuffed these a little tight, so be very careful when you twist them that they don't cause a blowout. there, but that's right, that's about a stick. So what we'll do, line a stick.
Is there a trick to hanging those?
Old German told me, steal with your eyes, not with your hands. So, yes, there is a trick. And if you watch, you'll learn it. So we're trying to keep it, don't want too much on there. Where's my knife? That's probably enough. There's one. He stuck these really tight. If they get a little too tight on you, all you're doing is you're manipulating them. Just give it a couple twists, not too many, and you can always make them a little bigger. Just be very careful. That was our first time stuffing with that machine, so probably, if you see a little air in here, take your knife, scrape it, and that air will come right out. And as it starts loosening up, now you can move. Oh, that's air. Not anymore. I cannot wait to try these. These smell awesome. They really do. We put fresh garlic in our last batch and probably too much of that. And it was not our best. This stuff. All right. Oh, my thermometer. Hey, there they are. So these ones will obviously be done a lot faster than these ones. So, but we're gonna cook them a little bit higher heat than usual. So I just rinsed them with water so that they're all wet, tacky, except the smoke. And I'm gonna light this sucker up. And we'll probably use a little bit of wood, not much. It'll be straight lump charcoal. Which is wood anyways, right? No briquettes. Wood only. Whenever you first start a smokehouse, always leave the door open, because the first part of the smoke has a lot of carbon. So if you're going to make a andouille or something with a heavy smoke, they call that a smudge. You would get smudge on it. We're just going to let this heat up and get all that first smoke burnt out. It's a bitch when you get blind. Oh, maybe not.
You'd be like Maggie and just work with your nose.
Are you still recording? Go ahead, Svenny. Well, right now I'm giving it a little bit of smoke. So I threw a little bit of wood on top. So that'll give it a little bit of color, and then we'll use straight charcoal after that. Lump charcoal. I'm gonna wait for that sucker to get up to around. I'm gonna start it off like 130 to 150 for like a half an hour, then just go, which means I'll probably go up to 180 until done. So until they get good color, and we'll finish them off in the house. So, all right, so we're going now. As you can see, we got, I don't know if you can see it, but we got smoke coming out of there. I opened the damper, so it's getting more heat than smoke inside, if that makes any sense. So if I close those dampers, and here she comes, then the fire would cool down and you would just get a lot of smoke. You give it a little more heat and it's a little bit less smoke is burning. A lot more efficient. So, and we're starting off at 150 is where I want. So we'll hang there for like a half an hour. And then I'll crank it up to like 180 until it's done. So, oops, how's that? And there we go. We're trying to raise the heat a little bit. That's my firebox. We got a little bit of heat going. And it should start getting a little higher. We'll go up to like 180 and we'll keep it there. Let's check them out and see what they look like. Hot dogs are getting a little bit of color. Obviously, they'll go a little bit faster than the hog casings, but we'll get good color on those and we'll go finish them off, and then we'll leave the rest for the hog casings. They're looking good so far. So this smoker's about 10 years old. Built it out of an old refrigerator. And the toolbox I use my firebox offset. So piped it into there, and a pipe up here with a damper, and between that damper and that damper I can maintain any temperature. So this thing usually doesn't go over, I try to keep this smokehouse no higher than 200 degrees. So it's a smoker, not a cooker. I could cook, but I don't want to. It's just a smoker. So we finish everything off in a pot with sausage and the bacon. We only bring up to, I don't even bring up to 140. I bring it up to like 135, something like that. So it doesn't really need to go that high. So sausage and bacon's all mostly what we do in here. A lot of it though. We eat a lot of it. So let's check. We're about right. So let's see what kind of color we're getting here. And the color's starting to come out really well on the sheep casings. Obviously the hog casings are going to be a little bit behind, but we're getting pretty good color on the sheeps. I'm going to dark them up a little bit more and then cook them off, and then we'll just have the hogs. But right now it's looking good. They're looking really well, really good. Here's another check. Looking really, really good. I really like the color here. Probably going to give it another 20 minutes because this is beef and pork. It's not going to get as dark. It's like an all beef hot dog, so beef and pork's a little bit lighter, but it looks really, really good. I'm almost tempted to cook these sheep casings off and concentrate on the hogs and get them heated up a little more, but we'll let them go another 20 minutes. Okay, the sausages or the hot dogs are almost done. Frankfurters are almost done, so I'm going to finish them off in here. A pot of hot water, not boiling. You don't want it boiling. But 160, 170 is what you're looking for. Any more than that, and you leave them in there, they'll have a tendency to burst open if you leave them in there too long. So leave them in there, or get the water around 160. Would probably be the best temperature. We're going to be right around 160. And you put your hot dogs in there for about 5 minutes, and you know, at 152 they're done. So yeah, we're good. So let's see what we got here. And they are looking good. So we'll grab the sheep casing and finish those off. And the hog casings are actually looking really well too. They're not that far behind. So I can't, my cameraman's not here, so I gotta turn you guys off. So I put them in the pot. There they are. So we're just gonna give them a couple minutes, 5 minutes maybe, and they should be done. We'll go to the next step. So what we're doing now is I'm getting the sink ready with ice water. So when I take them out of the pot, we're going to stop the cooking process right away. And what that'll do is if you cool them down really fast, they won't shrivel. So we'll cool them down and let them hang at room temperature for a while so they bloom back out. And I'll show you. Ho! So we're stopping the cooking. It's all done. This will keep them from shriveling up. Actually doing really good. That beef fat, we got a little bit of fat. That beef fat. Come out, man. We'll let those stop, and then we'll hang them back on the sticks, hit them with hot water, and let them bloom.
Definition of bloom, please.
Let them darken back up, because when they cool down, they'll lighten up. So if you don't cool them down too much, you can take them back out, and the heat inside them will come out outside, and that's called blooming. We'll bring the color back out. And that should do it. Okay, so we're going to put these right inside the pot. Make sure all the water is covering them. About 5 minutes, and they should be done. I'll go turn off that fire. I'm going to take a picture. Okay, we checked. It's 152. You can trust me. I'm not here to hurt anybody. sure you do it carefully so we don't kill anything. Look at all that smoke. There we go. And then transfer them into cold water. Those look just gorgeous. Tina did a good job. That's Tina sausage. Those are really, they really look good. Better than my old fashioned. It was an experiment. Let that chill down a little bit. It'll get a lot paler. We probably could have went a little bit longer on this one. We're not selling this to anybody. Sausage. We're gonna try this right now. Tastes like smoked sausage, Winnie.
I am.
You win. And a little bit of heat.